month's episode of Community Corner. In this series, we focus on great work being done by people and organizations in Northern Nevada that make this place such a wonderful place to live and work. I'm Angelica Reyes, your host, and today I'm here with Jed Spendlove, the Safe Embrace Board President. Welcome, Jed. I'm so excited to be here with you and learning a little bit about this organization.
So am I. I'm glad to spend this time with you.
So tell us about the history about Safe Embrace.
So Safe Embrace is a community shelter, for lack of a better word. We offer a lot of different services, but we are a safe house for people that, survivors that come into domestic violence and sexual assault and trafficking. Those are our three main focuses. We do have a local safe house, but we also have transitional housing programs, a lot of legal advocacy programs. It's been in existence for a little bit over 20 years. We changed the name to Safe Embrace about 9 years ago. As we grew, we saw some needs for some change and rebranding, and so we are a community safe house for the most part. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now tell us a little bit about the housing. How many families or people can you house in that?
So obviously with COVID, the numbers have really increased. Mm-hmm. Sad thing to say, but they have. Normally, in a traditional year, we service around 1,000 to 1,200 people, families a year, and we're not. A lot of people confuse this as being a women's shelter. We're not a women's shelter. We're an everybody shelter. Mm-hmm. So we have women, men, LGBT community, everybody. One of the other nice features we have is we have an on-site pet kennel. So one of the major reasons why people don't leave their abusers is because they don't want to leave their pets. Mm-hmm. And so we actually have an on-site pet kennel as well. So Banfield donated that to us a couple of years ago. And then with that nice generous donation, we were able to build 12 kennels so we can actually house your pets there on site as well.
Wow. Well, that makes it really nice because it gives them opportunity to not have a reason to stay.
Yeah.
You know, it's they're getting the support, it sounds like, in so many different ways.
Yeah.
What are some of the other services that Safe Embrace offers?
So we are not just a housing program. We do a lot of transitional housing, everything from, most of the time we have anywhere from a 30 to a 40-day wait to get into the shelter. Mm-hmm. During that time frame, not everybody can wait. Obviously, there's emergency services that have to happen sometimes. So we do have a transitional housing program where we will do temporary housing in a hotel, in other safe places. We'll do that. We also have a long-term transitional program where once you leave our in-house program, we'll help them get into a permanent house residence program, help them with their rental assistance for up to a year. Okay. So that's one of the programs we offer. We have a full legal advocacy team here. We have some really great gals that help file TPOs. We'll help you through. We do a family law clinic twice a month with attorneys that will help them through the process of getting divorced or getting separated or working out those agreements. So there's a whole legal aspect that we also do outside of our standard counseling services. Those go on and on. Some people that don't necessarily use our housing program, but will come in and just use our counseling services as well. So we have a lot of advocates on our staff that will help you. Like, sometimes you just want to talk about it.
Right.
You've already made the decision to leave, but sometimes people just need to talk about it and find out what other resources are out there. Get help for their kids that have gone through that and seen the travesty and the trauma. And that's what we're really here to do, is help heal people and help people get safe, mm-hmm. and offer them the best resources we can for that.
Mm-hmm. How many volunteers do you currently have at the facility?
So volunteers, we have volunteers come in and out all the time. Junior League, they always have a slew of volunteers helping us out. They actually, on site at the shelter, we also have a boutique, mm-hmm. clothing boutique, because a lot of times when you leave, you leave with nothing, right? Mm-hmm. So Junior League has built a boutique at the shelter so that anybody can come in and take anything off the rack. Aww. Everything from toiletries to clothing to shoes to toys to you name it. And so they've put together, we really applaud them for their help. There's a lot of organizations that really kind of help us out. and offer the services we are. But on average, we have anywhere from 20 to 50 volunteers that are helping at any given time in different aspects, whether that's out helping us do fundraising events, whether that's out doing community outreach projects with us. We do a lot of outreach with other organizations at our center, with the other shelter here in town, DVRC. We do a lot of stuff. We really kind of combine all of our resources. Outside of that, we have about, I think currently we have 22 full-time staff members, which is a big change, because 7 years ago when I took over, we had 4.
Oh, wow.
And so we've grown immensely. We used to only have 8 beds in the shelter. We now have 32. So we've been able to expand the shelter and expand our services. It's one of those deals you never want to really think about. We want that we're getting to expand and grow, because really what we'd like to be doing is curing the issue. Mm-hmm. But sadly enough, it's not an issue that's going to be cured today. So we have to be able to build more resources.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned a little bit about COVID. Mm-hmm. How has that have affected Safe Embrace?
I think our two things. For our survivor side of it, we offer a 24-hour hotline, and our advocates are always taking the calls at night. That's gone up 400% during COVID. If you think about it, at least people got a break from their abuser 8 hours a day when they were going to work. Mm-hmm. But now everybody is working from home. Now you're stuck with your abuser for all the time. And so it's become a pressure cooker for a lot of families. Financial stress with, downturn economy, loss of jobs, all of that. People, that just adds more stress, and it's just become a real pressure cooker. So our numbers are up by 400%.
Did you find that a lot more people were wanting to volunteer to help for the cause? Or are you currently still looking for volunteers?
We always have an open door with volunteers. Mm-hmm. We do a monthly volunteer training so that, and we always get new people, new faces all the time. Mm-hmm. We also partner with UNR, and we usually have a handful of interns. So they just finished up their course, because today's graduation for a lot of them. So our next group of interns won't be coming in until the fall again. So this summer we always have a little bit of gap. So we always like a few more volunteers during the summertime. The other side of that is obviously donations. Because we weren't able to hold our big Tree and Lights Gala. I think you've attended in the past.
Yeah, those are amazing.
Those types of galas, we haven't been able to hold those. And so getting unrestricted funds, our regular grants and the things that we operate and pay for programming, those have all been steady and come through. But being able to fundraise for our unrestricted grants, to grow our shelter, to grow those types of things, it was just a dead year for that.
How does the community, I know you mentioned a couple organizations that you've teamed up with, how has the community helped out with your fundraising efforts and bringing awareness? Or do you feel like there is a bigger need for that?
I always tell people when they ask me that similar question, we're not vets, pets, or children, so it's not a sexy cause. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to talk about domestic violence and sexual assault. Yeah, it's not easy to talk about for most people. It's really uncomfortable for most people. And so that's always been a challenge for us, not just because of COVID, but it's always been a challenge for us because people don't want to hear about it. Mm-hmm.
So if we have someone who's watching our message and feels that they might be in need of services, mm-hmm. what would be the best way for them to reach out to you? Would it be to come into the office environment, make a phone call, go on the website? Where could they find that information?
The website's always a great place to start, but everybody has to make that choice, because some people would rather come face to face. Some people would rather do it anonymously online. So safeembrace.org. It's a great place to start. Our 24-hour hotline number is on there as well. You can call the hotline number if you need emergency services. We always tell you to call 911 if you actually need a police officer involved. We don't get involved in that side of it when it's immediate, but a lot of the times the police officers will bring them to us in that situation. So, but call the 1-800 number, the hotline, safeembrace.org. If you just want resources, you can schedule appointments on there. You can also sign up to volunteer. If you want to get involved and volunteer, you can sign up online. There's a whole volunteer page that talks a little about how to become a volunteer and when the classes are offered, because there's a little bit of training involved in.
What does the training entail for a volunteer?
It's learning how to, and it's just some basic training on how to assess, get involved, but not get engrossed in it, because it's trauma. So it's a little bit of trauma training for the most part. It's like, how do you deal with people in trauma? So, yeah.
Well, it's pretty amazing that we have a program like this here in Reno, and that we have such wonderful people like you and your board that have a place to go to if someone is in need of the services. So I applaud you. It's wonderful what you guys are doing, and I hope to get more attention to this and bring it to our membership and our viewers, and hopefully we can get you a little bit more support with that and spreading the word a little bit.
I appreciate that.
So if you wouldn't mind telling our viewers one more time the website or contact info.
Safeembrace.org. Our office is located at 225, we just moved it, 225 South Rock Boulevard. Big blue building, and signs in the door so you can find us. Suite number 7.
Thank you again, Jed. This was a wonderful interview. Thank you for bringing so much awareness to this organization. You and your volunteers are doing such a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Well, that's it for this month's episode of Community Corner. Be sure to tune in next week for the special edition of To The Point. Don't forget to click and subscribe to our YouTube channel, RSAR Realtors. Remember, we're in this together and we can make a difference.